إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. Amma baad, brothers and sisters, I want to remind myself and you of the important principle that whatever we do in our life, doesn't matter what it is, whatever we do in our life, if it is according to the commandments of teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kindly and mercifully treats it as an act of ibadah. And if we do the same act but disregarding and ignoring the commandments and teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the same act is considered as a sin. So it's up to us that if we want to do our even day-to-day jobs, we can make them ibadah or we make them sinful. If we follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in making our decisions, in taking our actions, in doing whatever we are doing, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mercifully takes it as an act of ibadah and rewards us accordingly. The reason I'm reminding myself and you about this basic Islamic principle is because sometimes we think that certain acts of our life are outside of Islam. They are nothing is outside. Our whole life is a test, whether we make it a life of ibadah or whether we make a life of disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it applies even to our political activities. And you know, the federal election has been called. So I'm going to remind myself and you, what are Allah's commandments and teachings in this respect? If we consider the nature of voting, we are told that vote is a trust which belongs to the most deserving candidate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah An-Nisa, verse 58, He has commanded us, Inna Allah ya'murukum an tu'addul amanati ila ahliha, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands you that you render the trusts to whom they rightfully belong. So the trusts should be given to whom they rightfully belong, which means that vote as a trust must be given to the most deserving candidate. Another way of looking at it is that it is a judgment. There are multiple candidates. You are judging who is the most deserving, who is the best candidate. And in the same verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands, وَإِذَا حَكَمْتُمْ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ أَن تَحْكُمُوا بِالْعَدْلِ, that when you judge among people, judge with justice. Again, Allah is requiring us that you must be voting for the most deserving candidate, because that will be a judgment of justice. Another way of looking at it is that it is a witness. You are giving witness that among all the candidates, this candidate is the best or most deserving candidate. And you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to stand up and be counted for giving the right witness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoke very strongly against giving the false witness. So from that perspective again, we must be giving the witness in favor of the most deserving candidate. And finally, when we are voting, you are making a recommendation to election commission that I recommend this person should be elected because he or she is the most deserving candidate. And in same Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us, وَمَنْ يَشْفَعْ شَفَاعَةً حَسَنَةً يَكُنْ لَهُ نَصِيبٌ مِنْهَا. That whoever makes a good recommendation, they will have a part of the reward. وَمَنْ يَشْفَعْ شَفَاعَةً سَيِّئَةً. And whoever makes a bad or evil recommendation, يَكُنْ لَهُ كِفْلٌ مِنْهَا. That he will also have some burden of the sin, from a share of burden from that sin. So, from all four perspectives, you can see that if we want to make this our act as act of ibadah, we must be voting for the most deserving candidate. The question is, who is the most deserving candidate? Your friend, or the person you have relationship with, or from your ethnicity, or this or that, or even a Muslim? No, none of these matters. What matters is that who is most eligible for the job. And how do we determine that? By having a criteria. Ethnicity and language and this or that is not the criteria. The criteria is performance. So we should have a list of criteria. We should have some identified issues. And we should judge and evaluate and assess the candidates according to those. So whoever has a track record of statements, of actions, or behavior according to the issues which are important to us, that becomes the most deserving candidate. Doesn't matter who he or she is. On the other hand, if that person, what they have done in the past, their behavior, their track record, their statements, their attitude has been not good according to our criteria, then that candidate is not deserving according to our judgment. So, for example, I'll give you one example, and you can come up with your own list of 3, 4, 5 key issues on which you should be judging a candidate. So, the most important issue for Muslim Ummah right now in Canada is Islamophobia. Islamophobia is growing. There are more things happening against Muslims. Masajid are being vandalized. People are being attacked. People are killed. You know that. And its situation is getting worse. So we have to, our first criteria should be judging people according to what they have done in the past, what is their track record, what they have done to discourage people from Islamophobia, what they have done to promote better understanding of Islam and Muslims, and what kind of respect they have shown to Islam and Muslims. So we need to look at their platform, their views, their attitudes, and what they have done in the past and their track record on that issue. This is an issue, internal issue within Canada. Because federal government, this is a federal election, federal government can do a lot in this sense. They can train our law enforcement agencies and our different organizations and make them sensitive to these issues, and make sure that those people who are racist or have some who talk about and promote Islamophobia, there is strong legal action and punitive action is taken against them. So we have to look at all those, because that is in the realm of federal government, whose election is happening now. On external affairs matter, we have to see what is the track record and stance of that person and their party on issues like Uyghur Muslim persecution in China, the persecution of Muslims in Palestine, the persecution of Muslims in Kashmir, and things like that. So that should be on external matters, external affairs, that is also federal department. So we should judge them where they stand. So I've just given you, to keep the khutbah short, I've given you 2 examples. You can come up with 3 or 4 or 5 important criteria and talk to the people, look at their track record, research about them, and then make a decision that who is the most deserving candidate, because you owe it yourself, and it also owe it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He has given you clear commands that how you should be making such decisions. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us this tawfiq, that we use this opportunity and put our time and investment in there, talk to the candidates and make the right decision, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will consider this as an act of ibadah from us as well. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لي ولكم لسائر المسلمين. الحمد لله الذي أنعمنا بالإسلام وأكرمنا برسالة السيد الأنام ولا نعبد ولا نستعين إلا إياه هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. Brothers and sisters, you may be thinking that all candidates are bad, so I'm not going to vote. Is that an option? Absolutely not. This is not an option for Muslim. And the reason is because when you don't vote, you are voting for the worst candidate. How? Because you should have supported the most deserving candidate. When you didn't vote and didn't support the most deserving candidate, your support automatically went to the worst candidate. Because doesn't matter, even if they are all bad, there's going to be one person who is less bad, who is better in some respect. Even if it's a little bit better, still that person deserves our support, because maybe little by little we will be able to improve the condition. But not voting is not an option, because if we don't vote, then the support indirectly goes to the person who is the worst of them, because his or her position became stronger now because we didn't go for the best candidate. And in that matter, look at the violation of Allah's teachings we are doing. Vote is a trust, and instead of giving it to the rightful owners, we are keeping it with ourselves. We are wasting it. So we have violated the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by not voting. Also, by not voting and indirectly supporting the worst candidate, we have not done justice to the person who was better. So we have committed injustice. In the same manner, we have not given our witness. We have hidden our witness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يَكْتُمْهَا فَإِنَّهُ آثِمٌ قَلْبُهُ, that whoever hides witness, he has a sinful mindset. So we don't want to be there either. So from whatever perspective you look at it, for a Muslim, not voting is not an option. We must vote, and we must vote for the best candidate. This is not only our civic responsibility as Canadian citizens, whoever deserves, like whoever has the voting right, but it's also our responsibility as Muslims. And inshallah, if we do that with this mindset, with this intention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to consider this is as well as an act of ibadah, and He is going to reward for us. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلي بعدد من صلى وصام اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلي بعدد من قاد وقام وصل على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى الملائكة المقربين وعلى عباد الله الصالحين اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم أيد الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ربنا يا مولانا واجعلنا منهم واخذل من أعرض عن دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ربنا يا مولانا ولا تجعلنا منهم عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأعز وأجل وأعظم وأكبر وأقم الصلاة